welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. On this episode of Lipstick Looks, we dived into a fuchsia lip. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this fuchsia lip look, then stay tuned. Okay, so my main focus for this fuchsia lip look is for it to be super classic and very timeless. So we're going to focus on our lips, eyebrows, and eyes. So for the very first step, we want to apply our foundation and our concealer. So I already have my concealer and foundation on. If you guys have any questions on how to properly apply or what colors are right for your specific skin tone, refer back to my concealer tutorial and foundation tutorial. All right, so now that we have our concealer and foundation on, let's get started with adding some color. So we're going to add some bronzer today, but since we're doing a really bright, intense lip, I don't want the bronzer to be the main focus. I really want to focus on our features and enhance the strength of our features, so I really want to focus more on the contour. So for the bronzer, I'm going to be using my KKW Beauty Single Contour Bronzer in the shade number 4. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of bronzer, so I'm going to do some on my cheeks, so just the general areas, but we're not going to do as much as we usually do. So for example, yesterday we did a coral lip tutorial, and since we wanted it to be really bronzy and really dewy, that's why I really enhanced the bronzer. But for this look, I definitely want it to be a little bit more muted. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my bronzer all over, and you guys can go ahead and watch me. Great, now once we're done applying the bronzer, now we're going to go ahead and contour our skin. So for contour, I'm going to use a angled brush. All of the brushes that I am using, I'm going to go ahead and link them for you down below. They are all under $8 and they are very, very effective and some of my favorite brushes. So now I'm going to contour my jawline. So like I said before, I want this look to be really striking, really intense, and I really want to focus on our natural features. So I'm going to apply a little bit more contour than usual. So usually I just do like about that much contour, but I'm going to go back in and just add one more layer to really get that definition right over here so you can really see that shadow and how it's really enhancing the jawline. And then also don't forget to put some right over here, right up underneath your chin, just to erase anything if you want to erase anything under there. And then continue applying it all the way around. And then once we're done with our jawline, we're going to move to our cheekbone. So I'm just going to add one more layer so it can match the other side. Great. So now we're going to move on to the cheekbone. So you always want to bring the face upward, never bring the face downward. So you can see how I'm placing my contour right up underneath my bronzer, but I'm pushing it up into the bronzer, not bringing my face downward. So that way I still get that contour, but again, when I look straight into the camera, my face is still elevated. So now I'm just going to continue with the contour powder and just bring it up to my hairline. Also, be sure to actually touch your hairline. You don't want to see where your makeup stops. And if you do have lighter hair, you can just go ahead and wipe your hair afterwards. So now I'm just going to continue with the contour on this side. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of contour right over here. And then again, we're really going to focus right up underneath the cheekbone, so that way we can hollow out and chisel our cheekbones. Okay, so now that we're done adding our contour powder, now I'm going to contour the nose. So for the nose, I don't like to take my brush and re-dip it back into the contour powder. I like to take whatever's left over on my brush and just take that, and I'll take that right on the tip of the nose, right over here. This will shorten your nose and lift the nose. And then I'll also take some and put it right down the side of my nose, and you'll see how there still is pigment on the brush, but it doesn't look artificial. It doesn't look like you have this nose contour on. So if you want to contour your nose and make it look super, super natural, just use whatever's left over, and you can see how instantly you get that definition on your nose. Great. Now once we are done with our bronzer and contour, now we're going to move on to our transition blush. So you never want to jump into blush right away. It's not going to look natural. You're going to have, bronze skin and then pink cheeks. So in order to make it look natural, that's why we have to use our transition blush. So a transition blush looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you so you can see how it has like a little bit of a bronzy pink tone to it. So I really, really love this, and it's also very, very important if you want your makeup to look seamless and professional. So now I'm just going to take my brush, and I'm going to show you where exactly to put the transition shade. So you're going to smile, and you'll see right over here, this is our apple of our cheek, so the round part of our cheek, and then right behind the apple of our cheek, we have this section right before it meets the bronzer. So right over here is where you're going to put that transition shade, and you'll see once I'm done applying it how it transitions to this really beautiful, almost bronzy pinky color, which definitely goes with the look, and this is very necessary for every single day, again, so it does look seamless and natural. So now I'm just going to mimic the same thing on this side. Go ahead and smile as a reference, so that way it is even on both sides. Right, now I'm just going to add a teeny bit more. Perfect. Now once I'm done adding my transition shade, now we're going to move on to the blush. Now for the blush, we're not going to do anything too pink since we are doing a fuchsia lip. It's going to clash, it's going to look too pink, it's going to look too dolled up, so we don't want to do that. And we also don't want to do anything too peachy because it's not going to match with our pink lip. So we're going to do a neutral cheek color. So in order to achieve a neutral cheek color, we're going to bounce between two colors. So we have this really light pink blush, and then we also have this really beautiful pale peach blush. So we're just going to bounce between both colors and create our own neutral color blush. So you don't have to go to the counter and buy, you know, a neutral blush. You can honestly make your own color, which is the beauty of makeup. You can mix and create and, you know, do so many fun different things. Great. So now that we're done saturating our brush with the pigment, I like to tap the excess off on my hand, and then I'll smile and put the blush right over here, so right on the apple of your cheek. But you'll notice I'm not going too close to the nose, because if you go too close to your nose, any redness around the nose will make you look sick, like you were blowing your nose. So just avoid taking any blush too close to your nose. Great. And you also want to take your blush and keep it really high up on the apple of your cheek. You don't want to put it too down, same concept. You don't want to bring your face downward, so just keep your blush as elevated as possible. And be sure to keep it right on the apple of the cheek, so that way you're not covering your transition shade or your bronzer. Great. Now once we're done applying the blush, I'm going to show you a trick that all of us makeup artists do or should be doing. It is taking your powder brush, so go ahead and grab your powder brush, whatever's left over on your powder brush, you're just going to take this and stipple it over the work that you just did. I'm going to do one side so that way you can see the difference. So when I look at you straight into the camera, you can see how we do have this beautiful, you know, color on this side. And if you take a look on this side, we still have that color, but it looks more like skin. It doesn't really look intense, so it's not the first thing that you see. So just taking a little bit of powder and just dusting it over that, the work that we just did is just putting this really thin veil of powder over our skin and making it look like we are blushing from within, so that way it mimics the look of skin. Okay, once we're done applying that thin layer of powder all over our face, now we're going to move on to highlighter. So I really want to play up the highlighter for this look, so I'm going to just add a teeny bit of highlighter right over here. So we're going to do it right at the top part of our cheekbones to lift and elevate our cheekbone, so right over here. And then we're going to take a little bit and place it right at the top of our eyebrow. This will lift and arch your brow. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, so right on top of my cheekbone. Perfect. I'm just going to do a teeny bit more. So always start with a little bit and then add if you like to, because you can always add but you can't take away. And then we're just going to do a teeny bit right over the top of our eyebrow, and you can see instantly how that kind of lifts and arches your brow. And now we're going to take a little bit and put it down the tip of our nose. We're not going to do a full stripe down our whole entire nose. That will make your nose look longer. So just take a little bit and put it right on the tip, and you'll see how it draws attention and focus to the tip of your nose and actually makes it look shorter. So now we're going to take a little bit and put some right on our Cupid's bow. This will make your top lip look bigger and a little bit fuller. So we're just going to take some and put it right over there, and instantly you can see how it kind of draws attention to your top lip. And I like to put it just right there. So my cheekbones, the top of my eyebrow, the tip of my nose, and on my Cupid's bow. Great. So I'm going to leave my highlighter just like that. Now that we're done with our face, now we're going to move on to our eyes. So I purposely didn't do anything on my eyes because I want to show you guys what I want to do for this specific fuchsia lip look. So for this look, grab a concealer brush or any synthetic brush that you have on hand and take your concealer or your foundation. If you don't have a concealer, you can use a really, really light color foundation or a eyeshadow primer, so whatever you like. Just make sure that it is lighter than your actual skin tone. So for this step, I'm going to take my concealer and I'm going to place this all over my eyes because, again, I want this to be super classic, very timeless. I don't want to do a smoky eye. I don't want to do too much color because I want the main focus to be on our lips. So since we are doing a really intense color, I kind of want everything else to be super muted and really natural. So I'm just going to take a thin layer of concealer. Now you can use a eyeshadow primer like I said, but I feel like eyeshadow primer shouldn't really be too much lighter than your actual skin tone, so that way it doesn't distract from the eyeshadow. So if your eyeshadow primer matches your eyelid, be sure to use a concealer like I am, so that way you really get that lightness and that brightness for the specific look that we are going for. Now if you don't have a concealer, a eyeshadow primer that is this light in color, that is totally fine. You can just take a eyeshadow, and once you are done applying your concealer or your eyeshadow primer, just use a white color eyeshadow to bring it back to this specific lightness. Great, so now I'm just going to take my finger and just kind of tap out the edges right over here. Perfect, and you can instantly see how we have this blank canvas on our eyelid, and now we are ready to add any sort of powder eyeshadow. So now I'm just going to take a little bit more and do the same thing on the other side. Great, once we're done adding the concealer on our eyelid, now grab your really big fluffy eyeshadow brush, so any blending brush. And now we're going to dip into a just a basic eyeshadow color, so this white color right over here, so a ivory color. Now this is my basic eyeshadow set that I have over here, so I customized this palette to my specific skin tone. If you guys have any questions on how to pick out your personal basic eyeshadow set palette for every single day, I help you out in my eyeshadow tutorial video, so I give you some great tips on what to put in your own palette, just so that way you don't have to buy this huge palette and only use, 4 to 5 colors. So now I'm just going to take this color right over here and I'm going to place it all over the work that we just did. So I'm just going to set the under eye concealer. And you'll notice I'm doing stippling motion, so I'm really packing on this pigment because I want to set and also enhance the lightness on my eyelid. Perfect, so just like that. Great. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Great, now once you're done applying that soft white color all over your eyes, now we're going to add a little bit of definition into our crease. So for this step, just go ahead and grab a smaller version of your blending brush, so a medium-sized blending brush. And for this, I'm going to dip into this color right over here. So you'll notice it doesn't really have a lot of tan or any brown to it. It's almost a flesh tone crease color, so it kind of mimics the look of our skin, but a little bit darker. So I don't want to go in with anything too intense or visible. So I'm just going to tap off the excess and I'm going to place this right in my crease. And you guys will see how it's really muted. So it's a really soft crease color. Because again, I want our main focus to be on our lips, but I still want to get definition on our eyes. But I don't want to do anything too intense like a brown or a gray. So you'll notice once I'm done how it's just this really beautiful, subtle crease color. So I'm just placing this back and forth right in my crease. And then whatever's left over, I'll just blend it right over here on the outside corner just to give us a little bit more of a smoky effect. Great, now when I take a look at you in the camera, you can see how we instantly get that definition on our crease, but it's not super brown, gray, or tan. So now I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side, placing it right in the crease. Now if you don't have a flesh tone crease color, take your blush, mix it with the white powder, or take your blush and mix it with your foundation powder, and that will give you a flesh tone crease color to hold you over until you get another one at least. Tricks of the trade, people. That's what we used to have to do at the makeup counter if we, if somebody was using a color that I wanted to use or vice versa, I was using a color that she wanted to use on a client, we would mix and match and create our own color, which is super, super fun. So again, you're just going to place this in the crease, so going back and forth. And then once you get to the outside corner, we're just going to kind of buff it out and make it a little bit smokier. Beautiful. Now, once we're done with that, we're going to take our clean eyeshadow brush. So always have a clean eyeshadow brush on hand to soften and blend any lines. Now, if you don't have a lot of brushes to use, Shop AOA has this in-between eyeshadow brush cleaner. So it is a dry sponge that you take your brush and just sweep it over, and it instantly gives you a clean brush. So this is great if you don't have a lot of brushes to use, or if you just want to clean your brushes in between uses, you don't want to get your hands dirty, etc. So for this step, I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to take the tip of our brush, and we're just going to ever so gently just kind of soften the work that we just did, just so that way everything is seamless and blended. So again, just take the tip of your brush and just really make sure that there is no harsh lines. Beautiful. Alright, so now that we are done with the top part of our eyes, now we're going to move on to our lower lash line. So for our lower lash line, we are going to need a smaller version of our blending brushes, so a really petite blending brush. And for this step, I'm going to use the same exact shade, so this shade right over here. So I'm going to coat all sides of my brush, and I'm going to tap off the excess. And for this step, grab your handheld mirror, because we are going to look up. And we're going to place this color right up underneath our lashes, and you'll see how it's a really beautiful, soft, flesh tone color, and just gives you such a beautiful definition. Always be sure to tap off the excess vigorously, just so that way you don't risk flicking any eyeshadow up into your eye. I've done that before. It's not fun. So just really be sure to take the extra time and get that extra eyeshadow off. And for this, take it all the way to the inside corner. So inside corner, all the way to the outside corner, and then you can connect the two corners too, just so that way everything is really, really seamless. Now I'm just going to take a little bit extra and just connect the two corners right over here. Now when I take a look at you straight in the camera, you can see how putting eyeshadow underneath your lash line is so important. So if I take a look at you straight in the camera, you can see on this side how my eyeshadow still looks simple, but it doesn't really look tied together, and also too it kind of looks a little bit heavy on the eyelid. And when you place just a little bit of eyeshadow right up underneath your lashes, you can instantly see how it looks more seamless. It also makes your eyes look bigger, and it just overall really ties the look together. So now I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and put it right up underneath my lash line. Great, once you're done softening and blending, now we're going to move on to the inside corner of our eyes. So for this step, grab your makeup setting spray and grab a traditional eyeshadow brush and just spray your eyeshadow brush and dip it into your highlighter. Always spray the brush, never the product, just so that way you don't risk damaging the product. Perfect. Now once you're done with that, you're going to apply this right on the inside corner of your eye, so right over here. And you can see how instantly when you spray the brush, how it overall just makes it look super metallic and very intense. Great, so I'm just placing this right on the inside corner and right on the tear duct. Perfect. Now I'm just going to apply a little bit on the other side. Now I'm just going to take a little bit more product just to make sure it is even on both sides. Perfect, and you can instantly see how it really does add a little bit of brightness to the inside corner of your eyes, and also too, whenever you put eyeshadow on the inside corner of your eyes, it also opens and separates the eyes, which is really pretty. Great. Now I'm just going to take whatever's left over on the brush, because there is still pigment left over on the brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this and just place it right at the arch of the brow, just to add a little bit of a highlight right up underneath the brow to lift and arch the brow. Great. So you can overall see how it really does lift and arch the brow and make your eyes look more open, more bright, and more separated. Now once we're done with that, we're going to move on to our eyebrows. So I'm going to fill in our brows, and then once we're done filling the brows, we're going to move on to eyeliner, because I want to do a really cool eyeliner for this look. Great. So whenever filling in your brows, just be sure to comb your brows first. Make sure you comb them in the direction that you want them to go in. If you guys have any questions on how to shape your eyebrows, I have a separate eyebrow tutorial video where I teach you how to personally tweeze, shape your own eyebrows. So that's a really cool video if you guys have any questions on how to get a specific eyebrow shape for your face shape. This is one of my favorite eyebrow pencils, by the way. It is from shopmissa.com in the shade Ebony. It is only $1. It is a wax pencil that glides on so beautifully and it is very, very pigmented. I'm absolutely obsessed with this eyebrow pencil. I use it every single day. It does not smudge, it does not smear. It is the most beautiful eyebrow pencil, especially for the price, for $1. Like, are you kidding me? And it comes with a spoolie on the end. It's a phenomenal eyebrow pencil. If you guys want to buy a wax pencil on the market or at the makeup counter, it can range from $40 to $50. So super, super inexpensive. And this is literally the exact same thing, if not better, honestly. Great. Now, once you're done applying the eyebrow pencil, take your spoolie and comb it through. The spoolie will put little hair marks on your eyebrows and make it mimic the look of actual hair, so overall makes your eyebrows look more natural. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill my other eyebrow. Okay, once you're done filling in your eyebrows, so since I want this look to really focus on our natural features, now I'm going to take a tinted eyebrow gel and I'm just going to place this over my eyebrows, just to really make the eyebrows look more striking and more intense. Whenever placing a tinted eyebrow gel, only put it on the outside corner. If you take a tinted eyebrow gel and put it on the front of your eyebrows, it's going to make them look too thick, too masculine, not very simple and feminine. So always just take a little bit of the tinted eyebrow gel and just place it on the outside corner of your eye, just to avoid your eyebrows looking really heavy and really thick. Great. So once we're done with that, now we're going to move on to the eyes. So for the eyes, I want to do something really, really smoky and really just focused on the eyeliner and just focus on our overall shape of our eyes. So for this step, you're going to grab a smoky eyeliner brush. So any brush that you have that's used to smudge eyeliner. And we're going to dip into a black gel eyeliner. So grab a black gel eyeliner, coat both sides of your brush. And on the back of your hand, you're just going to soften everything. Just kind of remove a little bit of the pigment because I want it to be smoky, so you can see how when I go like that, it's more of a smoky eyeliner. Great. So just take whatever's left over on the back of your hand, and you're going to take your handheld mirror and look up, and you're going to take the eyeliner and you're going to smudge it right up in between your eyelashes. So this is going to give you definition on your lower lash line. It's going to make it look like you have eyeliner on your lower lash line, but it's not going to be super obvious. And also too, if you actually take eyeliner and put it in your waterline, it makes your eyes look smaller. So if you want to get that definition, but you don't want your eyes to look smaller and you don't want that really thin, obvious line underneath your lash line, this is my professional tip to you, and it just overall looks so beautiful. Look how amazing that is. You get such a beautiful definition, but it's not a harsh line, and it just looks so soft and so pretty. So now I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Just going in between my eyelashes with the eyeliner. Okay, once you're done applying the liner on your lower lash line, now we're going to grab a small eyeshadow brush and dip into a cool tone brown. So nothing too red, nothing too bronzy. We're going to coat both sides of our brush, and we're going to grab our handheld mirror, and we're going to sweep this right up underneath the lash line just to make it look super soft and really blended, so you can instantly see how it really does just kind of tie the look together. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to sweep this right up underneath my eyelashes. Alright, once you're done applying that cool tone brown to your lower lash line, you can instantly see how it makes your lower lash line look really smoky, really seamless, but it doesn't look very, very harsh. Now, once we're done with that, we're going to move on to the top part of our lashes. So for this step, I'm going to use my favorite liquid liner from e.l.f. It is only $1 in the shade Jet Black. I highly recommend you guys get this if you're on the market for a liquid liner. It is the best. It doesn't flake, it glides on, the brush doesn't get damaged. It's not a felt tip brush that if you stick it in, it gets damaged. It's just the most beautiful liquid liner. I highly, highly recommend it, and it dries to a beautiful shiny black. It's not matte black. Any liquid liner that dries matte black will crumble and flake on your eye, and just overall it doesn't look very flattering. So really, really love this liquid liner. So now I'm going to go ahead and line my eyes. If you guys have any questions on how to line your eyes for your specific eye shape, you guys can refer to my eyeliner and lashes video where I teach you how to put on eyeliner and lashes. So I really want to do a winged liner for this look. You can see how it just totally makes it so classic, and it really does tie the look together. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Great, now that we are done applying our eyeliner, I'm going to do my lashes off camera, and I'm going to meet you right back here, and we're going to do the lips together, so I'll be right back. Alright you guys, so I just got done doing my liner and lashes off camera, so now we're going to move on to the lips. So before we move on to actually doing our lipstick, since I do want to really enhance all of our natural features, I do want to just kind of chisel out the bottom part of my face, so I'm going to take my KKW Beauty Baking Powder in the shade number 1, and I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and I'm going to dip into the product, and then I'm going to take the excess and put it on the back of the lid. And then I'm just going to place it right at the outside corner of my mouth and go right up underneath my bronzer. And you can see how instantly it chisels out the bottom part of your face. Now take whatever's left over on your powder brush and just kind of bring yourself back to the natural skin tone right over here. And you can instantly see how it really does just kind of chisel out the bottom part of your face. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to dip into the product, remove the excess on the lid, and then I'm just going to place it right at the outside corner of my mouth, apply pressure, bring it all the way up underneath the bronzer. We'll add a teeny bit more right up underneath the bronzer. Great, just like that. And now I'm going to take whatever's left over on my powder brush and stipple it just like that. Great. Now I'm also going to take whatever's left over my powder brush and just take it right over my lips, just to put a little bit of powder over the lips. This will give you a blank canvas on the lips, and also too, it will make your lipstick last longer throughout the day, as well as prevent any feathering, any bleeding around the mouth area. So now, before we move on to our actual lip color, I'm going to take a little bit of my lip liner. I'm going to warm up my lip liner on the back of my hand, and I'm going to fill in my lips. So since I am doing a intense color, I'm going to fill in my lips completely. I like to use a neutral color lip liner, so that way if my lipstick does come off, I don't have that ring around my lip. So I really love using a neutral lip liner. So you can really see how I'm just shading my whole entire lip. Great, once you're done filling and shading your whole entire lip, now we're going to move on to the lipstick. This is such a beautiful lipstick. So I purchased this from Shop AOA as well. It is from LA Colors. It is only $1 and it is double-ended. Their lipsticks are super pigmented. So one swipe, full pigment. Look how beautiful, look how pigmented. And they also have a really nice vanilla scent. They kind of remind me of MAC. They have such a beautiful scent. And they also have a lip gloss on the other side. So now I'm just going to go ahead and apply the lipstick. And just follow your natural shape, you guys. Once you're done applying one layer, go back in and do another full layer. Great. And now we're going to flip it and use the lip gloss that's on the other side. If you guys don't like lip gloss, you guys can get away with just that. I think this by itself is such a beautiful, fun color. So now I'm going to apply the lip gloss. Even the lip gloss has a really beautiful, almost like fruity scent, which is so fun. That's another reason why I love Shop AOA. You can find so many fun, inexpensive items, because it's not often that we wear this fuchsia lip color. So why should I go out there and buy like a $30 fuchsia lipstick that I'm going to wear a few times a year? So I highly suggest that you guys pay this website a visit. You guys will not be disappointed. Just gonna add a little bit more lip gloss on my top lip. And there you have it. All right, so now let's set our makeup with the makeup setting spray. Shake your makeup setting spray, spray it 2 feet away from your face, and make sure you go all around and coat your whole entire face. Great. Kind of fan it off, make sure everything is dry. Perfect. All right, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this fuchsia lip tutorial. You can really see how just going really soft, really seamless, really classic, just overall really ties the look together. You don't want to do anything to distract from this really beautiful, bold lip. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment me down below. I can't wait to see you guys on another episode where we're going to be diving into so many fun, different lip colors. But until then, take care and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.